2013 Nedbank Tour de Tuli Mapungubwe, proudly brought to you by Nedbank, in association with Supergroup, Coleman and Europcar. The 2013 Nedbank Tour de Tuli Mapungubwe was an event like very few others. Mountain biking in 3 countries over 4 days, sleeping under canvas in 5 low-impact camps. Participants from all over the world, be they riders who had raised the necessary funds or volunteers giving of their valuable time as support staff, all gathered on the arrival day in Botswana at the Limpopo Valley Airfield.
We take children from the villages alongside the game reserve and we bring them into the reserve. We close up the lodges for a week. So for instance, Mashatu Game Reserve donates their tent camp for a week and we bring the kids in and we treat them as guests, but we have a very strict curriculum with them where we teach them about conservation and anti-poaching, how to track animals, and then we do a career day with them where we take them to the different camps and inspire them to work in the wilderness because they live right here and it would make sense for them to be working here.
In its 9th year, the Nedbank Tour de Tuli has grown in stature and awareness, and in keeping with its position as a major contributor to the growth in knowledge of the importance of a sustainable environment, South Africa's Minister of Water and Environmental Affairs, the Honourable Edna Molewa, arrived at the Limpopo Valley Airfield to a wonderful welcome from local children. She was soon joined by the Botswana Minister of Environment, Wildlife and Tourism, the Honourable Chikedi Kama, ahead of a wonderful, entertaining, humorous and uplifting evening.
And you know, there's something really special about sharing a little bit of trail dust. The friendships that you actually create here.
Going forward, we all have to work hard to preserve our nature for the good of the future and the generations to come. And that coming from the children itself, we actually embody the whole education around it. It actually helps us. It means that we will have a better world that is now actually having young generations as they grow, practicing nature conservation and conserving our beautiful environment.
I'm excited, nervous, as always, but we're going to have good fun. It's an amazing trail. We've got some slick rock for this year, like Moab style, so we're in for a good day.
We're very fortunate that it starts in Botswana because everything has a beginning and an end. I think our participation in each country is equally as important as the beginning and at the end, you know. No particular country has less of an impact in this. And again, the participation from the governments, the participation from the organizers, the assistance that they're getting as well is, you know, from the 3 governments. It's good to see that sport, tourism can be catered for.
Yeah, awesome, eh? Awesome event. It's good to be back and privileged to be here. So had a good chat, great bunch of guys that I'm with, Group 7. Lots of fun in that, so yeah, looking forward to the day.
So we're very proud to be involved. We're very proud to be associated with wilderness safaris and children in the wilderness. This is a completely unique event. And you know, for us as the Green and Caring Bank, it aligns with what we want to do around enduring sustainability of the environment. It sort of aligns for us around uplifting communities. And quite frankly, it's just magnificent to spend time with clients and associates and friends on a bicycle. You know, to share some trail dust is a unique experience, builds lasting friendships and very, very enduring memories.
And those memories of close encounters with the local wild inhabitants will linger for many a year.
It was
fantastic this year. I must say we had really nice to spend 2 days in the Mashatu Game Reserve this year. Stunning terrain, just awesome single track. It's easy enough. I mean, there wasn't really as much sand as some of the other areas, so I think we were quite lucky. And yeah, the guys chose a really awesome route.
Brilliant. We've just seen a lovely herd of elephants drinking in the riverbed here.
Sauf Pierre. Pierre, fatigué. Fatigué, you understand? Tired, means tired. C'est la technique du Tour de France.
The Nedbank Tour de Tuli presents unique challenges to the riders. Not all succeed, but most are prepared to give it a go. The first day, a ride of around 60 kilometres from Limpopo Valley Airfield to the Amphitheatre Bush Camp included sublime slick rock sections. And an opportunity to interact with the local children.
It's a phenomenal day. Saw elephant, eland, big herd, mahina. We saw kudu carcass that was just killed. Phenomenal day out there today.
Basically, it's built on passion. It might be a hell of a lot of work and the logistics are nightmarish, but at the end of the day, the guys that are working on the ground, they have so much passion for not only the event, but for children in the wilderness, which in essence fuels us. That's what we're doing this for.
That's extraordinary. You know, they've been going since 2005. They've used mountain biking events to actually do fundraising and essentially enabling the communities by providing an educational platform around sustainability and around the environment. And ultimately that can only, I think bode very, very well for the Trans-Frontier Parks and what we're trying to do around conserving nature here.
Hope it brings a lot of good in the world.
It's really nice to see these happy kids out here, man, and nice privilege as well to give them the soccer balls.
And a real privilege to ride. A special detour to visit Letswe Le Morite, the place of shade, of which there was little on the first day of riding. But we all arrived at camp with broad smiles, courtesy of a day of simply wonderful mountain biking through the Mashatu Game Reserve, which has it all: wonderful slick rock, the odd patch of sand, and stunning vistas.
Very, very good. Absolutely fantastic. What sand?
The camp was simply breathtaking, set in the shadow of the koppies close to the dry bed of the Malutsi River, where lions had been sighted 24 hours earlier.
It's just the natural beauty here. It's an absolutely different environment to what the guys experienced last night at LVA. They come in, they experience an airfield, it's a little bit of wildness, they can hear the animals and things like that, and then they get out here, and this is what Tour de Tuli is about. It's in the Tuli area, it's fantastically beautiful, we've got all the wild animals, the riding is fantastic, Trent's done a great job finding the routes. So yeah, I think it was a good choice with the scout guys that came out and sourced the campsite, and we came out and did a recce and saw the sort of the feasibility side of it, and I think it was a great choice.
And what better way to watch the sun sink than from the top of a koppie in the company of like-minded old and new friends.
We've been involved for the last 3 years. I suppose initially it was a little bit selfish. I wanted to ride, and so I came to Tuli organisers and said, I'll sponsor the coffee if I can ride, and they said absolutely. And yeah, we've been doing it for 3 years and absolutely love it.
I'm prepared, yeah, 100%. Good night's sleep, good bottle of red wine last night, feeling 100% this morning.
Nice day yesterday, great scenery, looking forward to today, gather some changes to the route,
I am the fastest racing machine in the entire group. You wouldn't say so, though.
It's a fantastic experience, nothing like this in Australia, and to come all this way, having great hosts and a great journey, seeing great wildlife, so it's been an amazing journey.
Our first day was interesting. We had a couple of technicals, which is unfortunately part of the game, but yeah, the scenery and just the camaraderie-ness was fantastic. So yeah, no, this is a good team. Everybody's having fun.
It's a fantastic involvement from a Europcar point of view. We assist them with all the 4x4s to do the tea breaks and get the logistics of the event. And this forms part of our social development process. You know, the money that's raised by all the corporates for the children of the wilderness is phenomenal. What they achieve and what they do is really something special. The corporate initiatives that come from this event fits in well with the Europcar strategy.
Stunning day today on the bikes, eh? Amazing out here.
There's no racing in the Nedbank Tour de Tuli, so the 18 groups were sent off at 10-minute intervals so as to avoid congestion.
Today was wonderful. We had incredible free-flowing trails, really well set up, and finished in the most incredible spot. Both days we've had really good game viewing. This is my 4th year now, and I've never seen lion. We saw lion on the first day. We saw lion hunting wildebeest on the first day. Good elephant sighting, incredible eland and giraffe sighting. So, yeah, from a game viewing point of view, it's been one of the best tours I've had. Trails so far also really good, free flowing, bit of, you know, all types of challenges to get the guys testing out their skill levels. Often guys running out of talent, so it's also been quite humorous at times, but very good.
Very good fun, a nice challenge, beautiful day, lovely weather, so it's nice and cloudy, so not too hot.
Hospitality, wonderful. Thank you very much.
That's superb, lovely first section, nice single track, nice and cool, superb riding. Very nice setting as well.
Day 2 was a 72-kilometre ride from Amphitheatre Camp in Botswana to Maramani Camp in Zimbabwe. The weather played its part as we made our way to a very unusual border crossing. The trails were simply stunning.
We're not really sure. I think we're crossing the Shashi over here into Zimbabwe, and I believe the campsite is only about 7 or 8 k's into Zimbabwe. We'll see.
Great route, and glad to be here, and almost in some last leg.
Before crossing the Shashi, another spectacular elephant encounter. The Shashi River is a major left bank tributary of the Limpopo and rises near Francistown in Botswana. It forms the border between Botswana and Zimbabwe, but generally only flows for a few days of the year. Most riders push the kilometre through the sand. A few chose the soft option of a lift in one of the big trucks. Through an informal border post, and we were in Zimbabwe.
Very pleased I didn't get in the sweeper truck, because that doesn't count.
It's not my best moment, see.
It's probably about the biggest reason to come and do the Tour de Tuli, to come across this river.
We just walked, carried our bikes, but it was good.
On the short ride from the Shashi to Maramani camp, the locals made us feel very welcome.
It was like, it was pretty quick. Yeah, it was pretty long, pretty quick, but all fine, thanks. And yeah, the infamous Sashi got most of the oaks again.
Very nice riding, but a long day, yeah.
But it was lekker. We'll be back. 2 herds of elephant. That was the sight of the day, so that was good enough for us.
And Impala?
Fantastic. For my second month of mountain bike riding, it was exquisite.
As was the setting for the camp on the banks of the Limpopo River, where lunch was enjoyed whilst gazing across back into South Africa and keeping a lookout for the crocs. The big flood in January had swept thousands downstream.
Our involvement in Tour de Tuli is really on the recovery side this year. So what we've basically done is we've sponsored the masseuses to make sure that the guys who come back after a nice tough ride can recover, get some of the beautiful girls to help them out and get them going again for the next day.
A pre-dawn start for the early groups on day 3 was made all the more comfortable by the Been There coffee stand. Our great Coleman head torches made light of the darkness. A sense of great anticipation ahead of another wonderful day on the bike. And that's the easy part. The logistics for the event are smoothly handled by a group who know how.
All the vehicles required, from the 8-ton vehicles up to your refrigerated, is supplied by Superent. A lot of planning. Although we run a fleet of 1,000 vehicles in the Gauteng region, careful planning needs to be done in order to ensure the vehicles that we actually supply are the vehicles that actually go through the border.
MyCor is the international clearing and forwarding arm of Supergroup. Because of our global reach and our experience through Africa, we've got the challenge of getting all the goods through not just one border crossing, but through 3 countries in this race. Once the whole project is finished, we are then responsible for bringing all the goods back into South Africa. We'll then store it in the MyCor facility, ready for the next one.
Our involvement basically is to partner up with Supergroup. We try and support these guys to get the equipment everywhere. There's some tough and rough conditions where the Scania vehicles needs to go. And we supply them the 6x4 truck tractors, pulling a heavy rig, maybe 30 tons here on the back. You could get anything from snowy conditions in Sweden up here to rough and tough Africa.
Very proud to be involved with it. Wonderful, wonderful initiative. And also a great excuse for me to get out here and ride every year. Just such a wonderful part of the world and such a fantastic event.
Day 3's ride took us on a 57-kilometre loop northwards before heading southeast towards Fly Camp. Again, the interaction with and support from the local community was extraordinary.
We are delighted with the way in which it's developed. In our view, it's up there with the best cycle rides, multi-day events in Southern Africa, perhaps even in the world, and it's in remote rural areas. And you've got some of the best single-track riding with a little bit of technical stuff, and the support and the logistics are outstanding. So we're very proud that it's up there. In terms of fitness, what's also interesting is that the cyclists have got better and better as the years have gone by. I think that's because they're training more, but it's not something you can just buy a bicycle and go out and do. You need to plan and make sure you know how to deal with an endurance event and a multi-stage cycle ride.
Zim is just beautiful. The countryside and the riding here is just spectacular. It really is this beautiful, beautiful riding. And you can't ride it any other time. It's the only time you can come here and ride it on a bicycle. Otherwise, you just don't get to ride it. It's just really special to ride it. That's what it's about.
A relatively short but extraordinary ride brought us into camp in time for a lunch, snooze, and a special sundowner treat.
It was absolutely electric. I think it's all about bundu bashing. It's been about bikes, and it's been about buddies.
And so far I'm feeling good. I'm the group leader of Group 10, so we're doing good in our group. All we're going in the same speed, and then everyone is good.
Very involved, obviously crossing all the major border points, trying to move everything from spades to tents to tables to everything, the food and whatever. Quite heavily involved, quite a lot of pre-planning in conjunction with Wilderness Safaris themselves, with our Chris Crutzen. And yeah, quite a challenge, but I think this is the third year running now. We're beginning to wax it, and hopefully it just becomes easier and easier. And with that in mind, trying to save every sort of penny that can be ploughed back into children of the wilderness.
The afternoon was spent relaxing on beautiful Nottingham estate, watching herds of elephant wander in and out to feed. A breathtaking sight. The bonds that had formed within and across the groups of riders was getting stronger, and the vibe in the dinner marquee was very special, as was the food. The final day of riding dawned. We were soon to be back in the real world. But before that reality struck home, a last chance to savour the wonders of our own backyard. Africa at its very best.
I consider it a complete privilege to be a part of this event. We've got the most amazing service providers and sponsors who help us. And if you look at the likes of Supergroup, Diesel Power and Europcar, they have thrown man and beast and machine and the whole lot into this, and they've made it happen. And over and above that, we have the rock stars of the volunteers who come on to the event. They again commit themselves and their vehicles, and many have committed themselves for no cost and their vehicles. And you know, with that kind of teamwork, you can only but succeed.
After 3 days riding, the legs were strong, the smiles were broad. Riding does not get much better. The brunch stop at Rock Camp on the Bristow Sentinel Ranch. Some got there faster than others.
Major technical, so I got airlifted here. So the day starts now.
I think it was made a lot harder by the activities at the bar last night.
Yeah, awesome, fantastic. Quite rocky, lots of sand, but fantastic. Just great to be out here.
Perhaps invigorated by the beauty of the bush, the pace was high. Those who'd fallen in the sand on the first day were now charging through wide, soft riverbeds with no problems at all. We were heading towards the Limpopo River and another unusual border crossing as we made our way from Zimbabwe back into South Africa and Mapungubwe. Support from above was provided by Livingstones.
We as Livingstones Supply Co have huge belief in what children in the wilderness do here and achieve in the 7 different countries that they operate in. We've seen how they look after the children that grow up close to these protected areas. And the reasons that we are here as a sponsor are mainly to provide a casualty evacuation service with our aircraft. I think the cyclists have a lot of comfort in knowing in these remote areas that they can be picked up if they have to be. Fortunately, we've had very little incident here. And secondly, we help with the relationship between the various landowners and the countries in this Transfrontier Park area. And our last function is helping you, cameramen, get your shots in all of the different areas throughout the 4 stages of this amazing event, both for film and for stills.
The Tour of Tuli was a good thing for me. I almost lose my shoulder, but here I am, some shots and everything's okay.
A friend of mine from Germany that studied with me in Berkeley told me about the tour and he invited me to do it with him.
And how's the experience so far in the wild?
Pretty good. I'm loving it.
We've sponsored the new Coleman instant tents where it takes you 1 minute to set up.
And then also, we've also sponsored headlamps, where people normally didn't realize that Coleman is in that kind of business. Big advantage for us that we also can actually have people see what we do.
Oh, fantastic. Awesome scenery, but more importantly, fantastic people, eh?
Yeah, just riding with the group, our sort of technical skills and abilities were all very similar, so it just made for a great ride today.
Okay, exhausting. Fun.
Those climbs are killing.
The Diesel Power Group is involved in mining services and civils and bulk earthworks, and we're very privileged to be sponsoring 9 vehicles this year, 9 LDV buckies for the various services for the Tour de Tuli. We think it's critically important to the future of the country that young children are environmentally aware, and a charity such as Children in the Wilderness does exactly that.
Went incredibly well. We went from obviously South Africa into Botswana into Zimbabwe, and then back into South Africa. I think the route was exceptional. I think the cyclists really enjoyed it. Most important for me is everybody was happy and is well.
A fitting end to a truly special, uplifting and meaningful event, the Nedbank Tour de Tuli 2013. The fires burn bright for children in the wilderness. The 2013 Nedbank Tour de Tuli Mapungubwe, proudly brought to you by Nedbank, in association with Supergroup, Coleman and Europcar.